Welcome back once more to the show. I'm your host, Kyle, and, well, I'm going to be talking about Con Curtis, his new show, which is 2077. Actually, I don't think his name's. I don't think it's Con Curtis. I think it's Con. Coutis? Coitus? I don't know. I can't pronounce these names, but I mean, we're all interested in the future. To quote um, to quote the great movie Plan 9 from Outer Space, we're all interested in the future. It's important to every one of us, for that's where you and I will spend the rest of our lives. Now, what mysterious mysteries will the future hold? Will there be love or innocence in the future? More importantly, will there be comedy? Now, in the year 2027, a meteor strikes the Earth, wiping out all living comedians. Well, that is all but one. 50 years later, in the year 2077, a team of Arctic explorers set out to find the lone survivor, the man they call Subject Zero. Now, led by the brilliant Dr. Rosewick, the team find their target, 21st century comedian Con Curtis, frozen in a block of ice. Now, Khan is now quite literally, through the process of sheer elimination, the funniest comedian on Earth. But there's no time to spare. The world has grown miserable, and with aid of a computer simulated comedy show, a thawed out Khan must now put on the performance of his life. Now, quote unquote, absolutely bonkers is the simplest way I can describe a show by Con Curtis. Some comedians simply tell jokes, some sing, some dance, and some go on mind bending adventure thrill rides across time and space. Now, Con Curtis's innovative and unconventional comedic style allows him to cross boundaries you never would have thought possible, with an act which starts out simply as a man on an empty stage telling jokes about his job at Luna Park. But by the end of the hour, you're experiencing an 80s cyberpunk surround sound experience to the theme of Far From Over by Frank Stallone. And I mean, goddamn if I don't love Far From Over by Frank Stallone. Now, last year I caught Con's previous show, which was actually Golden Gibbo nominated. It was called Con versus Con versus Con. Now, it's something that I described as Die Hard meets Being John Malkovich, for all the insanity that that conjures up in a person's mind. But for Con 2077, Curtis is he fully explores his space and turns not just the stage but the entire room into his sandbox. Now, as he runs back and forward, interacting with everything from the audience to the light switches in the rear of the room, the controls for the ceiling fans, all of this stuff just in the process of making the audience laugh. Now, but of course, the real standout to Khan's shows is his knack for pantomime, which is enhanced by the show's stunning lighting and sound design. Um, Khan uses an elaborate sound setup where he uses sound effects and sound effects and other kind of like audio effects and lighting and all this kind of stuff to take you on just an epic story using the theater of the mind. Now, we start off slow, not too different, as I say, from any other stand up set, but soon Khan is talking in palindromes where his mic is repeating everything that he says or everything that the audience says, but in reverse. Then one of his puppet hands is using an invisible defibrillator on his other hand. Khan is in a race against time from one side of the room to the other to answer a phone before it's too late. Now, things don't seem real. It's almost like we are in a Matrix like simulation ourselves. And yeah, that's kind of what the story of the show is of. Now, like I said, it's absolutely bonkers, and I love it. Now, Khan his brilliance as a performer is that his unique brand of physical comedy is so perfectly choreographed from sound effects, the lighting, fight scenes, audience participation, and callbacks an hour later, the things that he made up on the spot right at the beginning of the show. Yet the man is so laid back and his demeanor is so chill that the audience just wants to go on this make believe fantasy journey with him. There's a few mistakes here and there where maybe an audio cue didn't play correctly or a voiceover recording gave out the wrong date. Like I saw him on a Sunday night, and the audio that played back said something about Saturday night. So there was a couple of mistakes here and there, but I mean, everyone, including Colin, had a laugh at this, and none of it took away from just how much fun the whole audience was having. So I mean, Coutis is a performer to keep an eye on. I mean, he's blessed with this infectious energy and a quick timing that I think would serve any comedian well. But the cherry on top here is that he's using these skills to bring us completely out of the box and creative shows. He really breaks the mold of what one expects from a comedy show, and yeah, he's just damn hilarious at the same time. So really recommend Concutus's show 2077. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, I mean, it was basically very much kind of the same as Con versus Con versus Con, using the same kind of sound setup and lighting and effects. But as I said, this time he played to a much bigger room. He was playing in Malthouse Theatre, and yeah, he really took advantage of the surround sound aspect of the room. So he's really kind of a comedian with a difference, and that's kind of what the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. That's what's so special about it, being able to see these some comedians that really stand out from the pack. And so yeah, Con Curtis's 2077. Check it out if you guys get a chance.